Alright, for sticklers out there from the previous video, you notice I made a little boo-boo there. I accidentally erased Ellsberg stolen base. I put it back in there, and there's the 2. It was 0, but it's correct now. So anyway, in the last column, the top row, this number, is stolen bases for your team offensively. This number, if it's a complete game or not, it'll be a 0 or a 1. In California's case, they didn't have any steals and didn't get a complete game. So anyway, I just want to confirm something I missed from the previous video. So the data is done, okay, and now we want to move this to your larger stat accumulating program. So first thing you do is you move this data into a temp file called MF, move file. So you on your keyboard, the hotkey way of doing it is hit F12. F12, save as. You just type in MF. Hit save. It'll say, do you want to replace existing file? You say yes, because it's just a temp file. And then now you see that this file is now called MF. MF can now be moved to a bigger program called stats, your stats program. You still have this game. This game will still exist in a separate file for reference later, but now you're moving the stats into a bigger program. So the first thing you do is you type in a macro that will move this into your stats program. And that macro is Control, Shift, and T. T is in Tom. Control, Shift, T. Let's see what happens when you do that. Control, Shift, T. Now, what's happened is the file has moved, and in this point, in hotkeys, you can just hit NN for no. It says, do you want to save the changes you made to MF? And the answer is no. It's just a temp file. You say no, and then it says a large amount on the clipboard. Again, you say no. If you're doing this and you want and you're playing this quickly and you're doing your stats, the hotkeys will just get you through this so quick. You do F12, MF, yes, yes to. After hitting Control Shift T, you hit no, and now that puts us into a new spreadsheet called Stats 1980 Expansion 20 Player. This is just the original stat program I named like a decade ago. And I haven't changed it from when I did a 1980 league, and I've been just revising it over time, and now it's for your consumption. So right now, those same stats, now if you look at the spreadsheet, you see over here there's no data. All it does is, what has happened is, it kept the box of the stats in the game. The integrity is still there. You still have the lineup that was used, but all you have in this spreadsheet are values, no formulas, and all the stats that were just used in that game. Okay? So the next macro you have to use is, all right, let's move Boston's data into Boston's accumulated data. Boston is the away team. So you hit Control Shift Y, as in away. The last letter in away is Y, or yellow. Control Shift Y. Let's watch what this does. Control Shift Y. And what this does is it moves it into a different sheet, a different worksheet in this file called stats. And now, if you look in this column, you'll see Boston Red Sox. Now we're back to seeing that all the stats are back into the original order. The batting line, they've been resorted so that you're not, once you change the batting order, you gotta resort it into the record files for each. For instance, Tony Armas is player 1 the entire year or season, whatever. And then, of course, his position in the batting order and so forth will change every game. But you see right here, you've got this is just how it was before you played that game, and your stat box sits right there. And then you only have to do one more thing, and that is this region is highlighted. All you have to do is move your box into your appropriate game accumulation area, starting in game 1 of as many games as you want to use the stat program to do, with a maximum of 16 games. Okay, this is all cleared out in 0, so this would be the first game to be used. Up here in this orange box, it says work area 1. What I do there is it means that in the very first box of this file, game 1, and in the next box, game 2. Just to give you some idea, I will scroll over, and as you see at the very top here, you get game 3, 4, 5. It's scrolling over game 8, 9, 10, 12. You get 16 games. Okay? You get 16 games, and then in this area at the very end, it totals it up. It totals up all your stats for your 16 games that you're going to play. So let's go back and put that into the first box. And to do that, you got to put it in the top left corner of the box you choose. Where do you want to put this yellow stats, all the stats? You want to put it in game 1. So you right click and you paste special as just values. You don't want formulas, values. Paste special of values, boom. And now the stats from that game are in a new spreadsheet, and you can accumulate Boston's the next 16 games of Red Sox play. You can accumulate them here. Once 16 games are over, it's very simple then to copy the total of 16 games and input that in this box. Then you can do another 16 games. Just needs a little creativity on your part. If you look down here, these were 1-0. It actually sums up individual game stats down here. And if you scroll over to the right, it'll show you year-to-date stats for the Boston Red Sox. It shows their year-to-date win-loss record in green, 0 wins and 1 loss. Scroll over a little bit more, got some more information. Batting average, the Red Sox are hitting .257. Their team ERA is .562. There you have currently they've lost 1 game. They're on a one game losing streak. Okay? And then obviously these green numbers will accumulate all the way up to 16. This yellow area here is a special area I use for player utilization. It's a kind of a neat little formula. What this does is it creates a multiplier of the minimum innings pitched by the minimum player at bats. It's a neat tool that allows you to see which players are underutilized. Because 0 means that it's very simple. What it does is it goes to innings pitched and it finds the lowest number of innings pitched by players on the Red Sox or a team at this time, which obviously it's all 0 except for Clemens. So it's going to be 0 times fewest at bats by any hitter on this team, which is going to be again 0 for this player who didn't hit. So it's 0 times 0. But you can see as your innings pitch will accumulate, okay, your starting pitchers will start accumulating innings. Your relievers will, the underused relievers and the underused hitters will create a factor that will be very small. And what this is a quick reminder on a ball club of underutilized players that you're overworking your bullpen, or you're not giving your starters enough time off. And there's a factor for every team stats. But before I get to that, let's finish California. Let's finish California, and that is Control-Shift-H for home. So I'm going to do that. Control-Shift-Home. And there's California stats. Let's plug that into the first box. I'm going to plug that into the box 1, same way I did. Right, paste special as values. All right, and California stats are in. Scroll over to the Angels. They're 1-0. They're hitting .276 with a team ERA of 4. And I'm going to page down to the entire league in black here. This is the entire league. It's been 1 game. The league has got 1 win and 1 loss. There have been 9 runs scored. There have been 17 hits. And what this does, the league is hitting .266 with a .476 team ERA. So every time you plug a game in, you get new stats. And what this does is it verifies that if you make a mistake and don't have the correct when you're manually typing in your pitching statistics, it'll be indicated here. Here you see everything is correct. 19, these numbers should be identical. The yellows should be identical, the greens, the blues, the reds. 1 and 1, you see the 9, the 17s, the 1 and 1 19s. That verifies that everything jives and everything's cool. At any time if you see an inconsistency there, that means the box score you created is incorrect. I'm going to pause it right here, and we'll get to a little further analysis.